Hey guys, Amanda Helly, DJ Iceberg365 for RYC Praise News. First up this week, NF's Clouds mixtape and story music video has been released. NF just released his first project since 2019's The Search with new project Clouds, the mixtape. The rapper is changing up his formula a bit by 1. Dropping a mixtape and 2. Having some hip-hop features with Tech Nine and Hopsin. The track list includes Clouds, That's a Joke, Just Like You, Story, Prideful, Lost featuring Hopsin, Layers, Drifting, Trust featuring Tech Nine, Paid My Dues, and Clouds Edit. Listen and watch the music video at rapzilla.com. For the first time in over 80 years of surveys on the subject, a new Gallup data analyst released March 29th found that just 47% of American adults said they belonged to a church, synagogue, or mosque in 2020, the first time that fewer than half of respondents reported membership at such houses of worship. Gallup has documented a decline for decades, with particularly steep drops apparent in recent years. When the analytics company first asked about church, synagogue, or mosque membership in 1937, 73% of respondents said they belonged to one. That percentage stayed about the same until the turn of the century. In 1999, 70% of U.S. adults still said they belonged to one of the three, but based on annual suggested data from 2 surveys Gallup asks each year, by the mid-2000s it had dropped to around 60%, and by 2018 it was 50%. A big part of this story is generational differences, says Mark Chaves, a sociologist of religion at Duke Divinity School and the author of American Religion, Contemporary Trends. Explaining that studies have found that each generation is a little less religious than the generation before. Many places of worship across the U.S. have been closed for over a year as the country contended and continues to contend with the COVID-19 pandemic. But Chaves says he thinks it's too early to tell if the pandemic has played a role in the decline in house of worship participation. Find more about this study in the polls at time.com. Last up for this week, check out these great podcasts Life 96.5 has to offer. No, Seriously, How Do I Do This with Summer Shepard. No, Seriously, How Do I Do This is an often humorous, always real podcast about the underbelly of parenting from a Christian perspective. The Unfolding with Meredith Foster. God is writing a great big story, and you have a standing invitation to be part of it. Each week, host Meredith Foster sits down with a guest to share their chapter in God's unfolding story. And On the Road with Ryan Nisley. How does our faith shape the way we live? How does it impact our culture, communities, and the public square? Join host Ryan Thomas Nisley as we take a fresh look at God using his people. We'll meet professional athletes, recording artists, comedians, scientists, TV weathermen, and folks just like you and me. Check them out at life96.5.com/ministry-features. RYC Praise News seeks to inform you about what is going on in all the cities dealing with gospel music, fashion, and sports. We have a live 365 station for RYC Praise News. You can check it out at bit.ly/RYC Praise News. We're accepting music submissions and podcasts under 30 minutes, and please submit those to rycpraisenews@gmail.com. We also have a new DJ station, so check it out to give it a listen, and DJs submit your mixes. You can also send those to rycpraisenews@gmail.com and listen to the DJ station at zeno.fm/rycpraisenews1. RYC Praise News is proud to partner with the Not the Same podcast, hosted by Rob Redeemed and C. Micah. It airs on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on RYC Praise News. And check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/notthesamepodcast. Drop our Facebook page a like at facebook.com/RYC Praise News. And subscribe to RYC Praise News on YouTube. And follow us on Twitter at NewsRYC, as well as Instagram and TikTok at RYC Praise News. I hope you enjoyed this week's report. Share this video and leave story suggestions down in the comments. I'd also love to hear your feedback on this week's video. I'm DJ Iceberg365 for RYC Praise News. I'll see you next week.